and great food at reasonable prices are not maintained by the large jackpots that you desire to win. Smart. Didn't say don't go gamble, but he did tell me that there would be a price to pay, as in all things, cause and effect. This day when I enter a casino, and the last time that Reverend Michael and I were over at Rolling Hills in Corning to eat, I sort of get that pucker, you know, Dad's still with me. And I don't gamble. Now I will certainly buy something. And that summer that I worked at that salon, that 24-hour salon, there was a men's store next door. And I would never go gamble, but I would take my additional income and my tip money, and I'd go buy clothes. So, drug of choice. But I want to thank my dad for that advice. He came through loud and clear, still has. About the time of his transition, it is amazing how life unfolds for the individual. In my eyes, my dad was getting really pretty smart. He was coming around. I was thinking he was thinking differently. He must have had a shift in his consciousness. He must have had a shift in the way he observed things and was thinking about life. On the other hand, do you think it could have been me that was changing? I think it was me. I really, truly do. The fact that I was in my mid-20s and I sort of began having some life experiences. There's a lot of growth between 19 and 25 for me when he made his transition. So I was able to look back now as a mature adult and think that he was doing the very best in ushering in a thought and a direction for me to choose to live my life. And I'm appreciative of that, and I say thank you, Spirit. I really do. One of my favorite sayings about dads, and he would say it so many times when he would encourage us to step out and do something. I'll never forget another story. I was an Enterprise Record paper carrier, and at that time you had to go door to door and solicit subscriptions. I had 35 on my route. That's nothing, and you made about a nickel a week doing each paper. But you know, my father said to me, "Willie, toot your horn, you'll never sell a clam." So if you don't step out, if you don't ring that doorbell, you're never going to get a porch to throw that paper on. Smart man, wasn't he? I recall his high energy. He had a great enthusiasm for life, and he had that get up and go. And he encouraged us to get involved, to get going, and become a productive person in society. Do what you could. Run for office in school. He was very much of an activist when it came to assisting people, helping people. And he wanted us to be a part of that life, to do what would bring our truth into being. And that's why I said he thought so much the way I think now. But I thought, oh, funny old man. But he had a passion, as I look back with fondness. And he had a desire for doing and giving full force in anything that he did. That included driving an automobile. Speeding tickets, unbelievable. Of course, they were all probably $20 then, but he had a lead foot. And his best space for traffic tickets was on, it's now on I-5, but at that time it was 99. And he was always getting tickets. And later in life, he was selling irrigation systems for the farm in that part, alfalfa and grain and all sorts of things. It was before topical sprinklers like we have today. But it was all underground water system. And I would go with him many times and run the back end of the tape measure when he would bid jobs. But he did drive the heavy foot, which I do not. I'm very, 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 very aware of that. My father was relational, and he was skilled. He, for many years, was a carpenter. And he and his father worked as a team. My grandfather did hardwood floors and crown moldings in homes. And he and Dad worked together. And then after my grandfather's passing, he went to work in the irrigation sales. He was a teacher with patience. I have not quite learned that to the quality that he had, but he had a great deal of patience. And he would let you do it over and over and over again without criticism. He was supportive in his nature, which always made me feel good. And it was doing what was right for you. He was always kind. And he urged us to do it the right and correct way. He said it might take longer, but if you do it the right way, you won't have to do it again. Sounds like sage advice, doesn't it? There's something that I was thinking about when I was doing the lesson. One of the things that he said to me, and I try to emulate that, he always said, be on time for your job, do an extra 5 or 10 minutes, and walk the extra mile. He had very little education. He did not graduate from the 8th grade, but he encouraged all of us to become educated and to do something that would bring us happiness in our heart. But those are the 3 things that he always encouraged us to do. And so I guess maybe at times I get kind of an on-time freak with that, because that's something else that's been like a rock in my shoe. It keeps repeating to me from his past in my life. He respected nature, loved the out of doors, was a great gardener. And one of the things that makes me smile is that he always left a campsite in better shape than when he found it. And one of his favorite things was to cut up some twigs and some sticks to start a fire and leave it next to the fire pit. He was really good about that. And it was so, the person coming in would have an easier time to build a fire. And he had such respect for life's treasures, the forest, the ocean, and all of nature. And he loved little kids. He had a playful side. And he had that great quality of spoiling little people. He loved sweets and ice cream and soda pop and all those good things. And he was always everybody's granddad. So that, he held a quality that is so dear to me. His handshake was his personal contract. He never believed in writing. He had very poor penmanship. So I guess he felt a handshake was a contract with life, and that he honored that and other people as well. In the Science Mind textbook, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, shares from the teachings of Jesus, as the Father has life, so the Son has life. Again, we have the teaching, there is but one life, mind as spirit. This life is now our life and manifests through us as we believe it. And truly, my father believed that way. He was a great teacher. We were given life through our biological father. That's certainly a no-brainer. We know where we come from, and we know about the birds and the bees. And we also know that we have a spiritual father. And the spiritual father brings that beauty to us, that support that creates our space to be. To both the spiritual father and my biological father, I have great love, and I celebrate them daily because it is their wisdom and their influence and the way that they have showed me how to live with appreciation and fondness that has made my life the quality that it is. The spiritual father urges us to love those who we meet and encounter on a daily basis. Love is priceless, and certainly that was mentioned in your meditation this morning, Reverend Michael. So in living simply, living our authentic life, we circulate our good with honor, commitment, and respect. Love truly is the cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible, Dr. Holmes says. And it is. It's that big sweep that felt not seen, but it is always there. So allow your love to bloom in its greatest garden ever this week, this lifetime. And you move into and through each moment, collectively knowing that your world is our world, and it works for everyone through the mantle of love. The Father's love. My lesson ends in love. Well, I think we need to have a song, and then we'll do collection. Oh, well, let's do the collection, and then you can sing when you're, okay? Okay, let's do the collection. Let's do the offering. Inside your program, you will see our offering. And know that as we give our gifts to the center, we are doing a divine act of circulation. And knowing that as we give to this center, we're allowing our center to go into the world, and this teaching continues. And let us say the offering together. As I place my gift today, this is what I know. I support this center with love. I give freely of my abundant supply. I receive knowing Spirit as my source. Won't you join me in prayer? Turning inward, I recognize and receive the gifts that have been given to the center today, knowing that we all have been enriched by knowing that the Spirit of God and the joy of God is the one God that is ever present in our life. For this I give thanks. I accept these gifts for the center and know that all is truly well. And let us affirm this by saying together, and so it is. Before we have our last song, we have a couple of gifts to give out today. And Reverend Michael and I have chosen to give to the Father